Are you looking for the best playbooks to run the ball in your Madden 25 rebuilds? Well, you've come to the right place because this is the updated video of the best top rushing playbooks in Madden 25 to rebuild your teams with in the Quick Sim. So let's get into it. What's up, my Madden Rebuild Warriors? My name is David. This is Franchise Revival. Thank you for checking out the channel. If you're new here, please like and subscribe. Today we are talking about the best rushing playbooks in Madden 25. This video is an update to our previous top three. The best playbook prior was the LA Chargers. Still pretty good. We'll talk about it. Nothing stands out as much as it did in the past. With the update to Madden, playbooks are definitely more even. So I'm not going to give you like, this is the best. This is, number two. This is number three. I think there is a couple that stand out more than others. But this is more of just a list of playbooks to use because they're all kind of even and they all kind of bring something different to the table. So is this your preference of choice? I also want to apologize for why this video took so long to come out. I got stuck on the first playbook I'm going to talk about. I thought it was going to be number one because of a bad simulation I got, bad result, not understanding what the result meant. I thought that this playbook using Saquon Barkley without abilities rush for over 1,900 yards in one of the simulations, which would have really topped what the Chargers ever did in any simple simulations. And that just wasn't the case. And it took me a while to figure out why that I thought that and what happened. So that's an explanation of why this video took so long to get out. I should have been out Sunday before the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Eagles fan, exciting. So in honor of Saquon Barkley having a potential to break Eric Dickerson's record, I think it's very fitting that we are coming out with a rushing playbook breakdown. So we could try and, crack that 2,000 yard mark like one Saquon. So I did use Saquon for all these tests. I used Derrick Henry last time and I took the abilities off of Saquon. So we'll do the abilities video and how to maximize these playbooks later. But before that, let's get into breaking down the top rushing playbooks in Madden 25 so you can dominate your quick sim Madden rebuilds and be a rebuild warrior. So the first playbook we have up here is the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders! They are a multi-power run scheme. I did all these simulations using that playbook's scheme. 15-2 in this example season, so it's a good winning playbook with a good team. Led the league in rushing as a team. Barkley over 1,500 yards rushing, 13 touchdowns. Passing numbers aren't going to be great. You're not really going to break 4,000 yards and 40 touchdowns. Just you can't have everything sometimes. Back to talking about Barkley, almost 300 rushes. That getting 300 attempts in a playbook, very important for trying to put up big numbers. Now, where I got lost here and why I got stuck on this playbook is I did a simulation and Barkley got hurt like a game or two, and then I looked at his average and looked at what Gainwell had, and I was like, damn, if he'd played the whole season, he would have went over 1,900 yards. No, that's not what will happen, and this is where I got stuck. No matter what, Gainwell, that second running back, is going to put up about 400 to 500 yards and double-digit touchdowns. So this playbook is meant to feature two running backs. Now, you can still put up big yards with a back like Barkley, for sure. You still can. And his numbers will only go up when you put abilities on him. You're going to start flirting with 1,800 yards and more touchdowns. But this is a two-back offense, and I recommend having two good running backs. So you got a veteran, you draft another guy, you're building like two running backs at one time. It's pretty cool. So if you want to run the ball and you want to have a two-back system, this is the playbook for you. It's just that I don't think it's going to be one that cracks the 2,000 mark. And next up, as you can see, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers. Of course, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers. They are another multi-power run scheme. As you can see, example here, led the league in rushing, really helped out our defense. Number ones across the board, 14-3 record. Barkley went over 1,700 yards rushing. Again, not the greatest passing numbers. You can't have everything. You can have everything, but not all at once. And you're not going to lead the league in passing and rushing at the same time. So get that out of your heads, people. All right, the big thing here is the rush attempts. 318 for Saquon Barkley, put him over 1,700 yards with abilities. That is very awesome. He should get over 1,900 yards, I think, for sure. Could this playbook be number one because of the rush attempts? Probably, but it's all preference, right? I see other playbooks that we're going to talk about later that do more with less attempts. So it's a kind of like, can you get more attempts out of those playbooks? We'll see. Here, can you get more yards per average out of Saquon? Probably. Going over 100 yards a game, big thing. There's two things you really need besides speed, strength, and overall. You need attempts and you need stamina. Having 99 stamina is awesome for a running back. If you can get it on top of everything else, that's what you need to have big yardage years. On top of everything else is attempts and stamina. And in this playbook, the Pittsburgh Steelers playbooks, you got attempts because for the most part, you're always rushing for over 300 yards and your second back gets some work too. Next, we have the LA Chargers, a very familiar playbook. Used to be the number one. It kind of got nerfed a little bit, brought it back down to earth compared to the other playbooks. Another multi-power run scheme. You can see we went 14-3 here. Another playbook that helped out the defense. Almost 140 yards a game. Saquon, over 1,600 yards for the season, 17 touchdowns. Now, you're going to have a lot more passing numbers with this, for sure. So if you want to go over 4,000 yards passing, this is the playbook for you. A lot of times, what makes this playbook so good is the rushing touchdown numbers for a back like Saquon. I just don't know if it has the ability to get 300 carries and go over that 1,800 mark in its current state without abilities. I don't know if it can flirt with 19 to 2,000 yards, maybe. It definitely could in the past, so it definitely needs to be on here. Definitely can lead the league in rushing touchdowns every year. You should pretty much every year lead the league in rushing touchdowns. More of a rushing touchdown playbook than rushing yards, but it's still a great playbook. It's freaking John. It's Harbaugh. It's what it does. And your QB's going to get numbers. You see Hurts has 500 yards rushing, 5 rushing touchdowns. Gainwell still got some touchdowns. Your number one wide receiver in the slot's going to get numbers. So, you can kind of get a little bit of everything you want. I just don't know if we can really crack the 2,000 mark with this playbook anymore. The Cleveland Browns playbook is on the clock here. Let's talk about them. A West Coast zone run scheme. In this example, went 13-4 with the Eagles. And as you can see, 153 yards a game. That's pretty good, man. That is pretty good. Saquon Barkley would have went over 1,700 yards if you add that together. Really low passing numbers, so don't expect the world here. Please don't do it. I don't think you'll crack 1,000 yards with a wide receiver. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. Maybe the one thing here is that you would expect more. You would like more rushing attempts, but this is a rushing playbook. And if you can get 300 attempts out of Barkley or your running back, I'm sure that putting up huge numbers will be a thing. So, look, 19 rushing touchdowns, 1,600 yards rushing, 6.2 yards a carry, no abilities on him. Gainwell's, that second running back, he's still going to get some run. All that 400 yards isn't from just that one game that Barkley missed in this example. So, hey, man, you want to run the ball, get in the Browns because that's what they do. Run the ball, play defense. All right, so we have the Seattle Seahawks coming in here as a really good playbook. West Coast zone run. And in the example I'm going to show you, we went 13-4. We got the first round bye. Only 140 yards as a team, but you can see Saquon almost 1,700 yards in the season. Jalen Hurts, could he have more passing numbers if he wasn't, a scrambling quarterback? Possibly, but you're not going to have, break records as a passer again. But that's what you can kind of expect. Back to talking about Barkley, 6.8 yards a carry. That is crazy. Can we get more carries out of him? This is a full season. He only has 247, and he's not getting anything taken away by Hurts or Gainwell. I mean, this playbook has real good potential, and we put abilities on him. He's definitely going over 1,900 yards. Could we get 2,000? Who knows? A lot has to go your way. But it's a really good rushing playbook, and it's more about the yards, the rush yards on this one, especially per attempt. And then last, we have the New York Giants playbook. This is a West Coast power run scheme. And the example I'm going to show you, went 13-4 again, under 140 yards as a team. Saquon was pretty much the primary back. We'll come back to his numbers to talk about him. A little bit more passing numbers here from Jalen Hurts. Actually went over 30 touchdowns. Smith went over 1,000 yards. And then back to Saquon here. Had he not missed a game, he probably would have hit 300 attempts. He would have definitely went over 1,700 yards. So he probably would have been looking at like 1,750. 5.7 yards a carry, 15 rushing touchdowns. If you add that up, Hurts is going to get his rushing numbers. Gainwell is going to, get not really any. So I think this maybe has the maximized yardage you want. It's one of these playbooks. I think they're all kind of the same. Before, when I did these tests, and I came to the conclusion that the number one was the Chargers, like it stood out all the time. All these playbooks that I've done tests with, sometimes Saquon, was getting 1,500 yards, 1,600 yards, 1,700 yards. Nothing went above and beyond what any other playbook did. So these are just the best rushing playbooks, and it's up to you to choose which one you want. Do you want more touchdowns? Do you want more passing numbers? Whatever. Do you want a two-back system? It's all here for you. You make the decision. The choice is yours. That is a great power to have in your hands. So tell me what you think. Always come back to this video. I love to hear your rebuilds. I know, there's some great running backs in this coming draft, like Ashton Gentry, and people are going to, hey, if you're a Cowboys fan, you're whoever, you want to draft Genty, I think that's how you say his name, and try to break some records and make the next Saquon. Let's go. So I think that's what my next rebuild is going to be the Giants. I like to identify the best playbooks and then rebuild with that number one. And, we'll just call the Giants number one. I'll probably use all of them, actually, but a lot of noise about the Giants letting Saquon go, and then Saquon has the year of all years, and he wins the Super Bowl, and everyone's laughing and pointing at the Giants and Patrick Mahomes. I honestly, had that never happened on national TV, no one would be laughing at the Giants as much. They still would be, but not as much. It makes it even worse when you can make memes out of it and GIFs and all kinds of YouTube shorts and Instagram reels using that clip and pairing it with Saquon Barkley doing disgusting things. But honestly, they just weren't in the spot to have a guy like that. They need a quarterback. They messed up, but they don't need that guy right now. He would have just been wasted, and it was a gift that he let him go because we all got to witness. I know I'm biased because I'm an Eagles fan. Pure greatness. It made the season great. And if you hated the Chiefs, you're welcome. Speaking of the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, so much hate on that guy right now. He's still very good. He's great. Who cares about comparing him to Brady? Um, Brady's Brady, but I think all you're going to do is light a fire under this guy's ass, and next year he's throwing for over 40 touchdowns for sure, and he's probably going to win the MVP. As long as Reed's there, that guy still can have the chance of being just as good, if not better, record-wise and Super Bowl-wise, as Tom Brady. So I don't know what the cliche is, but don't poke a bear, because everyone's in the media is poking a bear right now. He had no chance behind that offensive line. It finally caught up to him, and it is what it is. But there you go. All right, so it's a little side ramble, but those are the top playbooks. Yeah, we've been putting up some gaudy passing numbers. Now let's put up some gaudy rushing numbers, and I can't wait to hear your stories about how your rebuilds are going. Thanks for watching. See you next time.